Hey guys, I'm Stephanie,
And I'm Tiffany,
and we are
Sisters
Sisters
of
of
the
the
South.
South. We are coming to you today with another true crime video, and we are excited to bring it to you in the month of December. But before we get started, please remember to hit the like button. Share the video if you think it's worth sharing. Also, subscribe to our channel. That keeps us going and able to bring as many videos as possible to you, and it helps us push out the content so other people can view it as well. And once you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and that lets you know that Sisters of the South has dropped another video, and you got to get on it and watch it. On Mondays, we do Missing Persons Monday, and those are vitally important to us. And what we do is share information on missing people that we would like to help bring home and bridge that gap for the families. So we definitely stress to our viewers to please share those videos. So, with that being said, before we get started, though, we are going to share our favorite vendor, which is SoFly.
So fly.
SoFly! And they do our merchandise and they specialize in embroidery and laser work. They're a small family owned company here in the Houston area, and they do things like embroidery caps and hoodies and t-shirts. They also do laser work to things like keychains and patches that you can put on your caps. And I've also seen some special work that they're doing with their lasering, and they've been doing cutting boards, and they go in there with the wood and they laser any type of design that you would like to specialize that for a loved one. And I really think it's beautiful and neat. So go in and check them out. We'll put their information in our description box. Check them out. I know you'll be happy. And remember, it's December. So even if it's a late gift, it's a good gift. So check them out. And before we get started in the story, we're going to show you a little video of SoFly. So here we go.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Please go check them out and let them know we sent you.
Please.
All right, and now to the story. So, Za'Zell Preston, known to family and friends as ZZ, was a 26-year-old proud mother of three and a full-time student focusing on becoming a domestic counselor. But all of that came to a tragic end Christmas Eve 2011. Za'Zell Dominique Preston was born September 5th, 1985 in Orange County, California. In high school, Za'Zell became pregnant and gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. She worked multiple jobs to support her and her daughter. 5 years later, in her early 20s, Za'Zell met a man and became pregnant with another daughter. The relationship with her second daughter's father did not work out, leaving Za'Zell to be a single mother of two. Soon after the relationship ended, Za'Zell met another man, 30-year-old William Wallace. Za'Zell's relationship with William was toxic and abusive, and according to court documents, Za'Zell made law enforcement aware of what was going on from the very beginning. William was arrested and found guilty of abuse as early as 2008, only a year into their relationship. His sentence was 45 days in jail, probation to follow, and a class in a batterer's treatment program. Sure.
Always works.
Of course. Za'Zell got a restraining order against William, but he knew just what to say to get back in her good graces, and Za'Zell would forgive him. She loved William and wanted to make the relationship work. Of course, the peace did not last, and William was arrested at least 2 more times, going back to jail each time. In April 2011, Za'Zell learned that she was pregnant and William was the father. William was very excited to be a father, especially after learning Za'Zell was having a baby boy. He promised, yet again, that he was going to change his ways. For real this time, William said. William was still in jail at this time, but he told Za'Zell that he found Jesus in jail. He had found God. He wanted to marry her and help her raise her 2 daughters and their son. He told Za'Zell and her family that he wanted to live as a man of faith. With Za'Zell's background in faith, she wanted nothing more for this to be true and live in peace, raising their family together. After his release from jail in July 2011, William moved to Za'Zell's apartment in Anaheim, California. At the beginning of fall, Za'Zell enrolled in classes at Cypress College, focusing on becoming a domestic violence counselor. While she was in school, William stayed home to take care of Za'Zell's 2 daughters. According to family, William hated that Za'Zell was going back to school. He wanted to be in control of where Za'Zell was going and what she was doing. William wouldn't allow Za'Zell to speak to any other man, not even her sister's husband. He would get extremely violent. Za'Zell's grandmother claims she found a pregnant Za'Zell curled up in the middle of the street after one of his beatings. She had also received a phone call from Za'Zell while hiding in the bathroom of a convenience store, hiding from William. Nothing could stop Za'Zell from pursuing her dreams and taking care of her children. For one of her classes, Za'Zell had written a paper about domestic violence. In her paper, from her own research, she details statistics about the cycle of domestic violence and what potential victims should watch out for. Her paper cited these statistics. Alarmingly, nearly 5.3 million United States women are victims of domestic violence each year, resulting in 2 million injuries and 1,300 deaths. She described the cycle of domestic abuse in this way. 1. The tension-building phase, which may be accompanied by minor assaults, in which time the woman believes she can deflect her husband's bullying by conceding to her husband's wishes. 2. The battering episode. At this point, the man is out of control and acts in a rage. 3. The reconciliation period. Here, the batterer transforms himself into a very apologetic, tender, and loving character. Za'Zell's paper also included her hopeful words. As a domestic violence advocate, I will show these victims that there is light at the end of the dark, gloomy tunnel. Against the wishes of her family, Za'Zell and William were married on November 7th, 2011. Peace would not even last 24 hours. Wow. On their wedding night, William beat Za'Zell. Because of this beating, their unborn son went into fetal distress, and Za'Zell had to be induced. She went into labor, and on the very next day, November 8th, 2011, her baby boy was born. Her family was happy with the new addition to their family, and they hoped this would finally bring peace to Za'Zell's life, since William had his son. The peace did not last, and by Thanksgiving, Za'Zell had realized she had made a big mistake by marrying William. She confided to her mother and grandmother that she wanted to leave and get out of the marriage. She had realized that everything she was learning in her classes applied to her own life as well. But Za'Zell didn't leave William. She told family members that she just wanted to get through her finals first. On December 17, 2011, Za'Zell and William fought again, and he threw her out of her own apartment. Za'Zell's grandmother came to her rescue and took her in. Later, William told Za'Zell he would leave the apartment and let her and her children have it. But when Za'Zell returned to the apartment, William was still there and another fight ensued. William left the apartment only to return later. The fighting continued, and Za'Zell ended up in the emergency room with a damaged eardrum. Still, Za'Zell stayed with William. She told family she just wanted to get through the holiday season and give her children a great Christmas. On Christmas Eve night, 2011, Za'Zell and William went next door to the neighbors for a holiday party. Later that evening, the couple returned to their apartment only to get into another argument, which led to William beating Za'Zell yet again. Around 9 a.m. Christmas morning, William placed panicked phone calls to various family members, including Za'Zell's family. He stated in a worried tone that Za'Zell was not waking up. Prompted by family, William placed the call to 911 at 9:30 a.m., reporting that his wife needed medical attention. When paramedics arrived at the apartment, they found Za'Zell slumped on the sofa, unresponsive, with sunglasses on her face. Za'Zell was taken to the hospital, where she was later pronounced dead. The county pathologist said that Za'Zell had died from brain hemorrhaging due to one or more of 6 blunt force blows to her head. 4 areas of trauma were on her face and 2 were to the back of her head, all from the same time frame. When questioned later if the injuries could be due to a fall or application of blunt force trauma by another person, the pathologist responded, "I would say blunt force trauma inflicted injury, not a fall injury." Investigators found areas of blood throughout the home, along with holes in most of the walls and a door off its hinges. All 3 children had been home the entire time. So, the account of what happened that night seemed to change depending on who William was talking to. William told his family and police that Za'Zell had gotten drunk and fell into a glass table in their apartment, shattering it. He and Za'Zell's oldest daughter had tried to clean her up, bringing her into the bathroom and pulling out glass shards from her body. He said that she seemed okay enough that he may have bumped her head getting her out of the bathroom. Then somehow Za'Zell had gotten into bed and he had fallen asleep beside her. In the morning, he had a hard time waking her up, and that's when he called his family, telling them she must have gotten a concussion when she fell. At first, Za'Zell's oldest daughter confirmed what William had said. She later testified that she was afraid of William and he had coached her on what to say to police. Za'Zell's grandmother testified that when William called her before calling the police, he told her that he and Za'Zell had been drinking and horsing around the night before. That's a lot of horsing around.
That's a lie.
Well, obviously. But someone's going to believe that? These are 2 minor contradictions that William Wallace's lawyer would bring up at his eventual trial. His lawyers would say Za'Zell just died from an accident resulting from 2 people drinking too much and arguing too much. William's defense attorney stated, "Mr. Wallace is being accused of something that is not his fault. In this trial, you will hear about a relationship that was full of arguing and yelling, but also a lot of love."
Well, let's just get this clear. Nothing was his fault. Nothing.
Never. But what investigators alleged happened in the apartment is far more horrific. In response to what the defense lawyer said, the prosecuting attorney said, "The defendant did what he always did. He expected Za'Zell to survive like she always did, but this time she did not." So, this is William's account of what happened that night according to his cellmate. When the couple returned home from the party and started arguing in the bedroom, William hit Za'Zell, causing her to fall back onto the mattress. No big deal, right? He then tried to leave, but Za'Zell followed him outside, begging him not to leave, and he shoved her, causing her to hit her head on the iron fence. Although witnesses in the apartment say they saw William carrying what looked like a body into the apartment from the fence area. William carried Za'Zell back into the apartment and tried standing her up in the living room, but she lost balance and fell into the glass table, shattering it, which pathology shows she did not fall. She must have been pushed. She was not responding, so he took her to the bathroom and put her in a bath of cold water to wake her. When that didn't work, he pulled her out of the bathtub, hitting her head on the toilet, and put her in bed. Their son started crying, so he put him on Za'Zell's chest so the baby could breastfeed. Still no response from Za'Zell. He put the baby back in the crib and fell asleep next to her. He claims they were in bed sometime between 1 and 3 a.m. He says he woke up to Za'Zell's daughters excited about Christmas morning and ready to open gifts. He could not wake Za'Zell, so he carried her out of the living room, propped her up on the couch, put sunglasses over her eyes, and told the children to open their Christmas presents. He told the children, "Mommy got drunk and ruined Christmas, but you go ahead and open your presents." So he was trying to weekend at Bernie's her.
Mhm.
And how long did he think he was going to get away with this?
Well,
just carry her around for a while?
But he had gotten away with
So
beating
much.
her for so long. I mean, it's her fault. That's what these men say.
Well,
It's
of
her
course.
fault. She followed me out. She wouldn't let me leave. She this, she that. I mean, he's going to have an excuse. It's not his fault, it's her fault.
So Za'Zell was surely already dead when William propped her body up on the couch Christmas morning. William Wallace was arrested Christmas morning, December 24th, 2011, and charged with first-degree murder, which he pleaded not guilty. A grand jury indicted William Wallace in April 2012, and his trial was set to begin later that year. But William's attorney convinced the judge that the district attorney's office hadn't presented the grand jury with all of the evidence that might have worked in William's favor.
Please.
The case was then dismissed, and the district attorney had to refile and start all over,
Costing the city and the county
tons of tax dollars.
more money.
Rather than go to the grand jury again, a new prosecutor decided to go the more common preliminary hearing route and ask a judge to find sufficient evidence to hold William over for trial. And following hours of testimony from 4 prosecution witnesses, that's what would happen, and William would wait until 2021, 9 years later. June 2021, William Wallace was sentenced to 15 years in prison after being convicted of second-degree murder. He was given credit for the 9 years he had already spent behind bars. Thank you, California.
15 years. 9 years time served, basically.
Yeah. But guys, if you are experiencing domestic violence, call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233 or go to thehotline.org. All calls are toll-free and confidential. The hotline is available 24/7 and in more than 170 languages. Please get help.
Absolutely. There's never a perfect time to leave an abuser. Never is there a perfect time. And just get out. If you have a good day with them, it doesn't matter. Payback's coming. And keep in mind when you leave, that's the most dangerous time. So have all your I's dotted, your T's crossed, have everything ready, and bolt. Take your children to a safe location and do not tell anybody but someone extremely trusted where you are until you can get over the hump, till this person's arrested, and document everything with law enforcement that happens. And keep a journal. That can help. You'd be surprised at how much that can help. But yeah, if you're being abused, please get help. It's very important. And she was taking classes. She wanted to get out there and help women in domestic violence situations, but she forgot to save herself.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part.
I feel so bad for her family and her babies.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine that's what they have in their mind for Christmas.
Yeah. For the rest of their life.
For the rest of their lives.
This monster just destroyed it all. Yeah.
So guys, let us know what you think. Share this story.
If there's anybody in your family that's going through it, just be available to them the best that you can. Get some phone numbers for them to call, and keep an eye on them. Sometimes they look okay, but they're not okay.
Yeah.
So just keep an eye on them and keep your door open for them. It's important because those situations are the hardest ones to get out of, for sure. Yeah. And it's so sad. It breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So guys, that's our story for this week. I hope you're having an amazing December. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. And we will be back soon with another episode. But until then, please remember to see the good and stay in perfectly perfect. Bye,
Thank you.
guys.
Bye.